Amina, a young and beautiful woman, leads a seemingly stable life with her boyfriend of many years. But her world changes when, on a whim, she decides to meet a mysterious stranger she encounters on the street. This impulsive act not only threatens her peaceful existence but also disrupts her emotional stability, setting off a chain of events that spiral into confusion and danger. Amina crosses paths with Kwame, a strikingly enigmatic man, when they both press a crosswalk button at the same time. Though brief, their touch sparks an undeniable connection. Her mundane life, once harmonious and predictable, is shaken by the electrifying attraction she feels toward this stranger. Despite herself, Amina becomes fixated on Kwame. At work she struggles to focus, and eventually, under the pretense of an errand, she finds herself outside a bookstore where Kwame is standing. Their eyes meet through the glass, and Amina, flustered and hesitant, debates whether to approach him. Unable to resist, she follows her instincts and steps into the store, drawn to his magnetic presence. Amina's impulsiveness takes her to Kwame's apartment, a step that signifies her departure from her previously orderly life. There she succumbs to her desire, beginning a passionate and tumultuous affair with him. She tells herself this is just a spark to enliven her dull existence, but she soon finds herself deeply entangled in her feelings for him. Amina learns that Kwame is a renowned mountaineer with a tragic past. During a grueling expedition, he survived while losing his girlfriend to the unforgiving snow. His vulnerability and sorrow captivate Amina even further, cementing her belief that Kwame is her one true love. However, this newfound romance leaves her riddled with guilt as she wrestles with betraying her longtime boyfriend. Unable to contain the truth any longer, Amina confesses her infidelity to him, breaking off their relationship. She moves out of their shared apartment to pursue a life with Kwame, whom she views as her soulmate. When Amina visits Kwame's home unannounced, she is surprised to be greeted by another woman who introduces herself as Kwame's sister, Zola. Despite her initial unease, Amina is relieved when Zola seems welcoming and provides reassurance about Kwame's character. With her doubts momentarily quelled, Amina grows closer to Kwame, though she remains unaware of the secrets lurking beneath the surface. Amina and Kwame's relationship progresses quickly, culminating in marriage. While this initially seems thrilling, Amina begins to sense that Kwame's past holds dark secrets. As she delves deeper, the cracks in their relationship and in Kwame's facade start to show. Amina starts receiving anonymous warnings hinting that Kwame may not be who he claims to be. Kwame takes Amina to a secluded location under the guise of a romantic gesture, teaching her survival skills and introducing her to his world of adventure. Amina initially suspects that her ex-boyfriend might be behind the disturbing anonymous letters warning her about Kwame. However, when she learns that her best friend has started dating her ex-boyfriend to comfort him after their breakup, Amina dismisses the idea that he could be involved. The matter resurfaces when Amina receives a call from Zola, a magazine editor who had previously worked with Kwame. Zola informs Amina about a letter from a female reader accusing Kwame of sexual assault years ago, believing Amina has the right to know as Kwame's wife. Curious and unsettled, Amina disguises herself as a reporter and tracks down the accuser at the address provided. She meets a middle-aged woman who vividly describes the alleged assault in detail, leaving Amina shaken. However, Amina becomes suspicious when the woman makes an offhand comment about not having made any money that day. Unsure whether the story is true, Amina leaves the house with growing doubts about her husband's past. She begins to realize how little she truly knows about Kwame, especially his history. To satisfy her curiosity, she decides to open a locked cabinet in their home. Using a key she finds in a drawer, she unlocks the cabinet and discovers climbing gear along with an old letter. The letter reveals that Kwame had a long-term affair with a married woman who eventually left him due to the emotional strain of their relationship. Overwhelmed by guilt, the woman ended their affair at the peak of a mountain climb. Startled by Kwame's sudden return home, Amina hurriedly locks the cabinet and acts as if nothing has happened. That night she lies awake, haunted by the revelation and a growing sense of unease. The next morning she attempts to reopen the cabinet only to discover that the key is missing. As she contemplates this, the doorbell rings. When she answers, no one is there, but a package is left on the ground. Amina completely fails at hiding her surprise, and both sides gasp with shock. This discovery prompts her to visit the home of Kwame's ex-girlfriend, guided by the address in the letter. There she speaks to the woman's mother, who reveals that her daughter has been missing for over 8 months and is presumed dead. While looking through a family photo album, Amina notices a photo of Kwame and the missing woman taken in front of a statue. The angle and background are strikingly similar to one of Kwame's photos Amina had seen before. Fear begins to set in. And when she returns home she finds her belongings in disarray. Kwame confronts Amina about her recent secretive behavior. He ties her hands and feet, accusing her of snooping and not trusting him. In a heated exchange, Kwame pulls out the letters Amina had found, claiming he never intended to hide anything from her. He insists there is nothing shameful in his past, but Amina becomes convinced that Kwame killed his ex-girlfriend. Maintaining her composure, Amina persuades him to untie her, then escapes through a bathroom window while pretending to use the toilet. Amina runs to the police station and shares everything she knows, including the photos and letters. However, the police find the evidence circumstantial at best and argue that it is not enough to link him to murder. Despite Amina's concerns, Kwame shows up at the station with her shoes, acting concerned for her safety. The police detain him temporarily for suspected domestic violence, giving Amina time to act. She reaches out to Zola and shares her suspicions, hoping to find someone who might believe her. Zola confesses that she was the one who sent the anonymous letters, as she had her own doubts about Kwame's innocence. Together the two piece together their findings and conclude that Kwame might have hidden the body of his ex-girlfriend near the statue seen in the photograph. However, Kwame, having been released from police custody, tracks Zola to her house. There he finds Amina's pajamas and the two photographs on the table. Realizing where Amina and Zola have gone, Kwame quickly drives to the statue to stop them. As Amina and Zola dig beneath the statue, they uncover the body of a woman. Zola is horrified, while Amina notices something peculiar, a necklace around the corpse's neck. The necklace is identical to one that Zola had previously gifted Amina, which makes Amina suspicious. Zola's demeanor suddenly changes, and she reveals a dark, ferocious side. She confesses to being responsible for the deaths of Kwame's previous girlfriends. Zola had an obsessive and incestuous attachment to her brother and wanted to keep him for herself. She admits to killing his ex-girlfriend and now plans to do the same to Amina. Just as Zola moves to strangle Amina with the necklace, Kwame appears and intervenes. He knocks Zola down, saving Amina. He realizes that his ex-girlfriend's death, which had tormented him for years, was caused by his own sister. Meanwhile, Zola regains consciousness and picks up a shovel. However, Amina returns in time with a flare gun, shooting Zola and mortally wounding her. Zola dies in Kwame's arms. Kwame decides to take responsibility for everything. He is sentenced to 2 years in prison for his involvement and complicity in the events. After his release, Kwame and Amina meet again. They pass each other on an escalator, Kwame ascending, searching for meaning and redemption, while Amina descends, returning to her normal life. The story ends with the poignant realization that their love was ultimately doomed by secrets, obsession, and betrayal.